Salutations, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Loquita Bonita, and I am here today with my mother. We are not recording video today, just our voices, because we both don't want to be on camera today, so that's just how it is. That's just how you're going to have to deal with it. But I will have some video for you to look at. But first, let me tell you what we're doing. Today, we are ranking our top 10 favorite Disney villains. And we might disagree, but we are going to discuss and come up with a list. We might end up with two separate lists because my mother tends to be a little hard-headed. But this is my mother. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Not hi, Mom, just hi.
Hi.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to read you guys our villains in the order that their films released. So, first off, we have the stepmother from Cinderella. Then we have Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. Shere Khan from Jungle Book. Ursula from Little Mermaid. Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Scar from Lion King. Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hades from Hercules. And Clayton from Tarzan. So we decided those were our favorite villains from the Disney animated movies that we have seen.
Top 10.
Our top 10 favorites. So she chose 5, and then I chose 5, and that was our list. So we do have some criteria in which we will be judging and discussing. And those criteria are how evil they are, / their deeds. No, how evil they are and how evil their deeds are. The second is their talent, like any special powers that they have or what sets them apart. And the cleverness of their evil plans or their evil thinking. So those are our criteria that we are going to be selecting these villains from. Alright. So, starting off from 1951, our oldest villain on the list, the stepmother from Cinderella. Alright, so Mom, how evil do you think she is?
She's a little evil, and I'm saying little because I'm comparing her to the rest of the villains on the list.
Right?
Not as evil as others. To start off, I would say she's 7.
You think she would be out of 7?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so number 7, you would rank her. I'd say, yeah, she'd be pretty low on the list as well. She is an evil stepmother. It's not like she has really any powers compared to the rest of the villains on our list.
Exactly.
She's more evil in the sense of kind of like a social evil, basically.
She's mean-spirited.
Yeah, she's very mean-spirited. She treats the way that she really treats Cinderella, and how she is basically only looking out for herself.
Selfish.
Yeah, she's very selfish. And even though she is trying to get one of her daughters, her biological daughters, really she's still only looking out for herself because she wants her daughters to marry rich, in this case the prince.
So she could move up.
Yeah, so she can move up probably on the social ladder, because this is based on times when there were princesses and kingdoms and such, so of course she would be thinking socially.
Mm-hmm.
So
a social status.
Yeah. And she has some mean-looking looks, too.
Yeah.
She does. I remember those looks. Her looks scared me as a kid, watching her. I was like, ooh, this woman.
Well, the animation played a part also, because there are some times when she is looking evil, like you say, but in the animation, the animators ended up... And I remember one scene where she's doing that, but they darken her whole face, and that makes it look even, worse than it is. So that might be one of the scenes that you're talking about that when you were little that scared you.
Yeah. What about how clever she was in how she tried to implement her plan to climb up the social ladder at the expense of Cinderella?
Yeah, she's kind of clever too.
Yeah, I would say she's pretty smart. She knows, I believe she really knows what has to be done. And she is willing to do whatever it takes, I think, in
Yes.
whatever is within her power to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's not like a dumb villain, for sure. And she is a woman, according to the story of Cinderella, she is a woman that has lost her husband, but her
At least twice.
yeah, at least twice, because those daughters that she already had, we assume is of course from another man, because they're
Previous
stepsisters.
marriage.
Yeah. But her motives, even in that, are kind of suspicious. I feel like, because
Even in what?
her motives when it came to like marriage, and then
Oh yeah. It makes you wonder if she really loved Cinderella's dad.
exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little suspicious because of the way that she treats Cinderella. I mean, if you loved a man, truly loved a man, then you would love, their child or their children.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she treats Cinderella like nothing.
Yes, crappy.
And essentially, she makes Cinderella an indentured servant, honestly, like a slave. So there's that. Alright, so yes, I agree. We'll put her at number 7 for now. Alright, let's move on to the next one. We have Maleficent at 1959 with Sleeping Beauty. So Maleficent. So she is, now that we know, she's I'm pretty sure they mentioned it in this movie as well, the 1959 version, that she's a fairy, but she's an evil fairy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not counting the modern rendition of Maleficent. We're judging this based on how she is in the 1959 version. So we're going with kind of that limited scope. Maleficent. So how do you feel how evil she is?
I would say even less than the stepmom.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would put her at what, 8 or 9?
Wait. I'm gonna take that back because her intention was to kill her, correct?
Sleeping Beauty?
Uh-huh. And then she couldn't because of the other fairies interfering.
Well, I don't know.
Isn't that how the story goes? That her intention was really to kill her?
I don't remember if it was her intention to kill her. I think she just wanted to punish the kingdom and its residents, or their residents. So I don't really remember what her motives were behind that. But I feel like if she really wanted to kill Sleeping Beauty, she could have. You know, I mean, she is a fairy and she has like all these dark powers. You know.
Yes, but the other fairies came in and
that was after the fact.
They gave her gifts.
The first two fairies gave
I believe
her
that she was
gifts.
the reason why she was really mad is because she wasn't invited, and she wasn't invited because she was
kind of evil.
right. So, everyone was bringing gifts for the princess.
Mm-hmm.
And when she came in, she thought that she was the last one to bestow the gift. Mm-hmm. But the other two, was it 3? The other fairies hadn't.
There were 3, but 2 of them had given their gifts already before Maleficent.
Oh, that's
came
right.
In.
That's
and then
right.
The 3rd came in after Maleficent left.
Right, you're right. And so that's how she ends up not dying. It's because Maleficent did curse her and her intention was to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
But that last fairy, that third one, bestowed the gift of her not dying, but rather than die, like at the age of whatever that was, 16, she was supposed to be killed by whatever, curse. So that third fairy was the one that saved her and said that instead of dying, she was gonna fall into a deep sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so from my memory, her intention was to kill. The stepmom never intended to kill Cinderella. So that's the reason why I'm backtracking and saying no, Maleficent was worse.
Because she wanted to kill.
Yes.
Okay. I can agree with that.
So her rankings gotta be higher than a 7.
Yeah. So maybe 6?
Yeah, I can agree with that for now.
Okay, so maybe 6. We're at 6 for now. Now, the cleverness of Maleficent. Let's talk about that. So with Maleficent, how would you rank her cleverness in comparison to the stepmother? So I feel like
I believe that the stepmom was more clever in her doings. But what would make me think and decide that Maleficent outranks her is because of the intention that she had of killing.
Which of course she didn't succeed in that.
Right.
So I could argue that if Maleficent's intention was to kill, she could have done that right then and there when she interrupted that ceremony or that party or whatever it was. But instead, she decided to draw it out and instead just place a curse on her instead of actually, doing the deed there and then. So in that, she's not that clever. So, but in a villain's mind, a lot of them want to draw things out and
so the stepmom was more clever.
Yeah,
but Maleficent's more evil. And she's more talented than the stepmom.
Yeah, she has those fairy powers. I mean, she becomes a dragon, for goodness sake.
So we agree that she should outrank the stepmom.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll keep her at number 6. Let's move on to Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians in 1961 that was released. Alright, so Cruella de Vil. Now, unlike the previous two, Cruella de Vil actually has a song in the movie, which very much makes her more appealing, I feel like, as a villain. A lot of these actually have a bunch of some villain songs that either they sing or are sung about them. But I especially like Cruella de Vil's song. It's just very catchy, very old-timey, and I feel like it.
How does it go?
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil, and it's just, I feel like it's one of the.
It kind of sounds like a catchy tune.
It is very catchy, yes, and it is immediately recognizable as well. So Cruella de Vil's intention, obviously, is to kill a bunch of puppies. If that doesn't show how evil she is, I don't know what does. How are you going to harm or kill a bunch of puppies for just to have a really nice fur coat or fashion? That's evil.
Okay, so
puppies.
I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but there is a certain level of evilness in that. But I'm going by the animated
right
feature, not the the one with Glenn Close.
Yeah, the animated one. Right.
So, per my recollection of that movie, Cruella is really more than evil. She's just cray cray.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So I wouldn't rank her high on evilness.
Mm-hmm.
Again, she's selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about the stepmom.
Yeah.
She's very selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a certain level of evilness, but more so, to me, more so, she's just crazy.
Yeah.
She's just very, very crazy.
I agree. She's very crazy.
So I don't know that she's very, very clever.
No.
And I don't know that she's talented. She's just crazy
Mm-hmm.
and selfish.
Well, she has to have a certain level of talent to arise to the status that she's in. I mean, in the movie, she is, you know, a well-known person, at least in the fashion world. So, and I agree with you on the cleverness. I don't think she's that clever, especially when she has to, invoke the help of two stooges that she hires.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they're the ones that actually do all the dirty work for her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And she didn't pick very
No.
talented, clever,
no.
you know,
No.
assistants there.
No. And she smokes. That's evil too. Just kidding. Don't smoke. But yeah, she's not very clever. I don't think she would be.
So she's at the very bottom for me, or very, very close to the bottom.
I'd put her at number 9, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put her at number 9 for now.
She's probably going to end up being a 10.
Yeah, this list that we've made so far, it's not concisive yet. We'll probably change around some rankings.
Preliminary.
Yeah, we probably will change some rankings as we go down the list. All right, from 1967, from the Jungle Book, we have Shere Khan, the tiger. Woo! Okay, so unlike the previous 3, we're talking about an animal here, not a human. So we have to, I guess, kind of take into account animal instincts as well. And of course, a tiger's instincts are to just kill.
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily kill for sport, but to kill for food, for sustenance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of Shere Khan, I feel like he is a tiger that likes to kill for sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that sense, his evilness is pretty high up there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he has just this obsession with Mowgli, because he's a man. He's a man cub.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna grow up to be a man.
Yeah, that's gonna grow up to be a man. But I don't know. Can an argument be made that since Shere Khan, I mean, he is an animal, and of course he did grow up to, you know, or I would assume he was raised to, you know, kill for food, for sustenance. But do you think that his need to kill for sport arose from his fear of man and learning to fear man?
I believe it's vengeance.
You think it's vengeance?
Yes. I believe he hates men,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't want to wait until he grows up and becomes a full-grown man, so he wants to get him,
Yeah.
you know, as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And some level of fear of man
Mm-hmm.
drives him.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. But do you think that his fear, or whatever level of fear that he has, is what really drives him to just kill for sport, even?
No. That doesn't justify him doing that. I'm just speaking in terms of the boy.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
wants to kill him before he grows up
Yeah.
and becomes a full-grown man
Mm-hmm.
because of his fear
Yeah.
of what he might do once he's grown.
Yeah.
But as far as like killing anything else that like you saying, killing just for sport. I don't know. That's probably part of being evil.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, well, his talent. On that point, I guess I don't know if he would necessarily have a talent. I mean, he is an animal. But and as a tiger, he has very keen instincts.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that he just carries himself, I think he has a level of confidence that some of these other villains don't have. It's like it's like in a sense he knows that he's the king of the jungle,
Mm-hmm.
and that he knows that everybody fears him. It's just like either when he comes into when he comes into an area, it's like he knows that other animals are gonna listen to him or kind of bow down to him, or kind of.
But that's
submit
also
to him.
arrogance
Yeah,
on his part.
too. Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he kind of has that. I guess we can kind of say that's kind of his special power, or what makes him special.
Mm-hmm. What sets him apart?
From other villains. All right. So what about the cleverness? His cleverness.
What do you think about that?
I don't think he's a tiger that can be fooled very easily.
No, it's the other way around. He seems to be a little bit of a manipulative person.
Yeah,
or being, since he's a tiger, not a person.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the way that he manipulates Khan, the snake. Even Khan, like that huge python anaconda, whatever he is. He himself is a villain, but compared to Shere Khan, I mean, he's nothing compared to Shere Khan, And I'm sure that if Khan, had the courage, he could probably, in under the right circumstances, he could probably kill Shere Khan himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a snake. Yeah, it's like you say, Shere Khan just can be so manipulative. And he's very careful in who he manipulates and how he manipulates people. Or not people, animals. So, yeah, I think he has a good level of cleverness. So with that said, where do you think we would rank him so far in comparison to the others?
So we're 3 right now, and he's the 4th one that we're trying to rank.
I feel like he would be more clever, probably more evil than all 3 of us.
Okay.
I would say number 5.
Okay, put him at number 5.
Next up, from 1989, the Little Mermaid, we have Ursula. And I know this is one of my mom's favorite villains from Disney. She's gonna make a hard case for Ursula.
You'd be surprised.
So Ursula, she too, dope song.
Exactly.
Dope evil song.
I love Ursula because of her singing. So that would play under her talent. That she has a really good voice.
It's
very good singer.
Her voice, yeah, it's very, it can be even sultry at times.
Very powerful voice. So I love her for that. As far as her evil doing, I'm at war with myself on the evil part of Ursula, because I think of her more as conniving.
Yeah.
That's another one that's trying to get ahead in life.
Yeah.
She's trying to take, you know,
King Trident's throne.
yes.
So she wants to rule
Yeah.
rule the sea.
She's greedy
Mm-hmm.
and she's conniving.
Yeah.
And there's a certain level of evilness, you know, what she does to Ariel.
Not only to Ariel, but to other mermaids too. Do you remember
Yeah.
all those little
Yeah.
weird worm things as
Yeah.
Ariel was coming into her cave?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the first time she had done anything like that. So
Yeah.
she has to have a good amount of cleverness in order to pull that off and do that to several mermaids. So she, like Shere Khan, she can be very manipulative as well, I think.
Yes.
Because she makes these deals with mermaids, presumably mermaids,
Mm-hmm.
and she makes it look like they're gonna come out on top, probably like she did with Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like they're gonna have their dreams come true.
yeah, they're
So
gonna have
she
their dreams
really
come true.
manipulates them.
But it doesn't turn out, unlike with Ariel, it doesn't turn out the way that they hoped.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that to so many mermaids, she has to be up there with her knocker up here.
She's clever
Yeah.
and she's evil, but she's also very conniving and greedy. I think greed is driving her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. As far as, her talent goes, that would probably tie into her talent.
Witchery?
Her witchery, yeah. Her witchery.
And her singing. She's a powerful witch.
She is a powerful witch. I mean, she's able to give mermaid legs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool in and of itself.
And she was like so clever, I think, of using Ariel's voice
Mm-hmm.
and, transforming herself into a human.
Yeah.
To try to take the prince away. Actually, she did take him away.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ariel couldn't fulfill
Mm-hmm.
whatever that clause was that, but the deadline of,
Yeah, she had to get
they
the
were
prince
supposed
to
to
kiss
get
her.
that kiss
Yeah.
by the sunset on the third day, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So she was very clever on that.
And she had to know that Prince Eric had some feelings for her, because when he's looking for whoever he thought he saw after Ariel saved him, whoever he
main
thought
thing-
he saw and
the main
whoever he
thing-
heard, it was her voice
Yes.
really that
What he recalled.
attracted
Mm-hmm.
him.
The main thing that he recalled about that incident was the voice.
Mm-hmm. So in that sense, Ursula was very, very smart
Mm-hmm.
to know, okay, we need to take away the most threatening thing
Mm-hmm.
that could help Ariel fulfill her part of the deal, basically. Mm-hmm. But it didn't work out the way that she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Ursula did end up getting the trident close to the end of the movie, she was very powerful, of course, in that instance.
She was very outrageous,
Mhm.
and she would.
She
was
increased her size times 10.
Whew, times a million. She became this great giant,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just out for destruction.
Exactly.
So that also would rank her up high for me, because
Yeah.
she was like causing chaos in the sea, everywhere.
Yeah.
And she was trying to kill Ariel and the prince.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So she's pretty up there.
I agree.
So at this point, I want to put her as number 3.
That's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you agree?
I can agree with that for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree that she's definitely above the ones that we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now let's move on. From 1991, Beauty and the Beast, we have the villain Gaston. The very, very handsome but very, very ugly man.
Yep.
So Gaston, let's talk about his evil deeds and his evil doing. Gaston, again, another very selfish villain, I think. He wants to marry Belle with no consideration of her needs and what she wants. I mean, when he proposes to her, he doesn't really propose to her. He's just like, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to have...
It's just telling her.
Yeah, we're going to have these many kids, and they're going to all be boys.
Okay. Wow.
So he doesn't really have any consideration for anybody else but himself. He treats his little minion like, nothing as well.
He's a little bit of an airhead,
Yeah, he
in
is.
the sense that he's not very smart, because it's almost like when you were saying that he just tells her, he doesn't even ask when he's like proposing, quote unquote. He just takes it for granted. This is what he wants and this is what he's gonna get. And like you were saying about having so many kids and they're all gonna be boys, it's like
Not realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's a little airhead.
As far as other deeds that he's done, which could be considered evil, he tries to get Belle's father into an insane asylum. Insane asylum. I can't say that. Just so that he can essentially what is it called? Starts with a B. What's that word I'm looking for?
He's a bitch.
No, it's not bribe. I cannot think of the word. Blackmail. There we go. Essentially, he's trying to blackmail Belle into marrying him by putting her father in an insane asylum.
That's a tongue twister to you.
Yes,
huh?
it is. In an insane asylum.
Okay. The crazy house.
Yeah, the crazy house. I'll just say that from now on.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's pretty bad.
He's just so full of himself. The talent, I don't know that he has any.
He's a very
He might think he has very many talents, but
yeah.
that's all in his head.
There's a whole song in the movie about him and how great he is. But one thing, if we can talk about one of his talents, one thing is he is a very skilled hunter, and so he has a gun or guns as his weapon, and of course he tries to use it, or he does use it at the end of the movie when he shoots Beast. Mm-hmm. So that would be one of his talents, is that he's a hunter. Mm-hmm. And so
the level of evilness,
yeah,
and the story, the plan. He's playing to get what he wants.
Mm-hmm. It's just like he just wants to get rid of any obstacles of what he wants, just any way that he can.
Yeah, he wants to remove all the obstacles between him and Belle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he doesn't even consider that the main one is Belle herself.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
And his only attraction to her is likely that it's just because she doesn't want him. That's pretty much his only attraction to her in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all the other girls in the village want him except for her, so of course that's what he wants.
And he doesn't care if they have anything in common at all. Mm-hmm. So of course he gets really jealous when Beast comes into the picture, and he notices that she has feelings for Beast.
So the evil deeds are that he does that to her dad, and that he puts the whole town against
he creates
the Beast.
A mob, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets the whole town to go after the beast.
Yep.
And ultimately, he tries to kill the beast. So those are his evil deeds.
Right. So, I don't know. I think I would rank him a little bit lower.
I would say number 8.
Yeah.
Who's number 6?
Number 6 is Maleficent. I think he would be lower than Maleficent.
Number 7 is the stepmom. So he would be number 8. Who's number 9?
Number 9 is Cruella. Yeah, I guess we'll put him at number 8. Alright. From 1994, we have The Lion King and the big bad cat himself, Scar.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of my favorite villains as well. I know it's definitely my mom's, one of my mom's favorites. He, of course, also has a badass song as well, which he sings. He's voiced by freaking Jeremy Irons. I mean, that voice. That voice. I couldn't hear a better villain voice than Jeremy Irons, I feel like. So, evil deeds of Scar. Kills his own brother. That's a big one.
And blames it.
Blames it on Simba, the son. And then he takes over Pride Rock and rules like an idiot.
And brings it to the ground.
Yeah, he runs the kingdom into the ground by bringing the hyenas into it. So those are his three big ones.
Those are very big.
Yeah, those are pretty big. Killing your own family member is pretty evil.
Vanishes.
Huh?
Vanishes Simba.
Yeah, banishes Simba. Yeah. So if he's treating his family like this, I mean, I feel like there's no ends. There's no end to his evil, to the lengths that he will go in his evilness. So yeah, I would rank him pretty high up in the list.
So going to the criteria points.
Yeah, so we already talked about his
evil
deeds.
is way up there.
Special powers, what sets him
apart. He's very talented. As far as, that's an awesome song. As far as his cleverness.
He's smart to ally with the hyenas because they are pretty much...
He plays all his cards so well as an evil being. He
plays his cards well in that he usurps his brother's throne.
But that's what he wants, and he ends up getting it.
Yes.
He gets what he wants.
Yes. But once he has the throne, he's not very smart in how he handles the kingdom. So in that sense, that's where he fails. Yes. Because he starts to run a kingdom that's starving, because he and the hyenas hunt the grounds ruthlessly. And then the rest of the animals that they could hunt just run away, and they don't return to that land.
And they're starving.
And they're starving.
Leaves them starving.
Coupled with his evil deeds, though, those two things, I feel like would still put him pretty high up on the list.
It's a combination of the perfect recipe for a villain.
All right, so where do you think you would put him? We have Ursula at number 3.
For now, I would put him as number 1.
Okay.
That's my opinion. What do you think?
In comparison to the others, he would be number 1, I think, that we've talked about so far. How would you compare him to Shere Khan?
Oh, Shere Khan has nothing on him.
No? You don't think so?
No.
They're both cats. They're different cats, though.
Yeah, but no. Shere Khan has nothing on him.
Yeah, because Shere Khan is mostly for himself, but Scar has to think about himself and other animals, too, that he has to rule over. Shere Khan isn't a ruler. He just kills. So, yeah, I think that's a good, solid point as well. Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
He wants to rule over the jungle, though. He considers, Shere Khan considers himself the king of the jungle.
but he
But
doesn't.
he thinks he already has the throne, so
But he doesn't bother himself with ruling anything though,
no.
like Scar does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll put him at number 1. Okay, from 1996, The Hunchback of Notre Dame's Frollo or Froyo. I think it's Frollo.
Frollo.
For those of you who don't remember, because I haven't seen the movie in quite a long time, Frollo is the man that takes in. Oh no, I forgot his name.
The Hunchback?
Yeah, the Hunchback. What's his name again?
I forget.
Oh no, Quasimodo. There we go.
Yes.
See, that shows how long I haven't seen the movie.
We probably should have watched all these movies before we did this.
Yeah, probably. But Frollo is the man that takes in Quasimodo when he's a baby, even though he's completely disgusted by Quasimodo. So with his evil deeds, from what I can remember, first of all, at first he wants to kill Quasimodo as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
He hunts down his mother, who takes Quasimodo from her arms
To kill the baby.
to kill
kill
the
him.
baby, and also I think to kill the mother. I don't remember, but
Did he kill her?
I think he
I
had
believe
his
he
guards.
did.
Yeah, I think he did kill her, or maybe had her killed or
Yes, I
executed
think
or
he
something
had
like
her
that.
killed.
But anyway,
This man is evil, but he's very sick also.
yeah, he's
Just like Cruella, when I was telling you she's evil, but she's cray-cray. She's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This man is sick.
I agree. Yeah, he is very sick-minded. And he must have some kind of power in the church. I think he's a part of the church in some way. I don't know how high up he is, but he has some powers when it comes to the church, in the Catholic Church, because Notre Dame is in France. So, in that song, in his song, because he does have a song in this movie as well, his song is about Esmeralda and how he wants Esmeralda, and basically, if he can't have Esmeralda, then he'll kill her. That's basically what he's saying in the song.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, he locks up Quasimodo. Well, not really locks up, but he
hides him away
he hides Quasimodo away in the church of Notre Dame.
in the tower.
And he thinks, or he believes, that by doing that, it's a good deed, because he spared the life of this quote-unquote monster.
He wants to put up a facade that he's doing something good, that he's doing a good deed.
Yeah.
And he manages to lie to himself, because deep down he knows that he's really not doing anybody any favors.
But himself.
Mm-hmm. But he likes to think that he's doing something good.
Mm-hmm. Yep, precisely.
But he practically has him like in jail.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't let him go out anywhere. He doesn't let him out of that tower.
Mm-hmm.
He's not supposed to come down.
Right. So there's that, and his infatuation with Esmeralda, and if he can't have her, then he'll kill her. And he has just this thing against gypsies, the gypsies, which Esmeralda is a gypsy. So, I mean, he basically has a manhunt or a woman hunt for Esmeralda, if I recall correctly.
So he's a man of very many contradictions, because he's in a way part of the church, but he breaks the church's rule, because he's not supposed to like kill or do anything bad inside the church. This church is sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
But he breaks that rule.
Yeah.
He hates the gypsies, but he's in love with one.
Yeah.
So-
I wouldn't call that love, though. He's infatuated.
Well,
That's why I said infatuated.
he hates the gypsies, but he wants her.
Yeah.
And she's a gypsy. So it's just many contradictions.
Mm-hmm.
He portrays himself as someone that wants to love the Lord, you know, but at the same time he's evil.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And does all these terrible things. So he contradicts himself in many, many ways.
Yep. So how do you perceive his cleverness then?
He's clever in that he, like I said, he wants to put up a facade and he wants to pretend that he's this good man, a very high status or stature in
Someone to be looked up
society,
to.
and yeah, exactly. So he's clever in that he makes it look that way, even though he's not really what he's portraying
Yeah.
to be. And he's clever in finding the hiding place, the place where all the gypsies were hiding.
Yeah, I remember that scene too.
Yeah, he's clever in spying on Quasimodo to see what's going on and stop using him to find her. So, yeah. He's clever in that he's fooling people, he's fooling the community, and in his plan to end with all the gypsies and ends up finding them.
Yep. But inevitably, he gets himself killed. Yep, at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess in terms of ranking, I would put him maybe at number 2 or number 4.
For now, I say number 2.
2? Okay. Next up in the lineup, from 1997, the second to last, is from Hercules, Hades, the god of the underworld. Okay.
I love Hades. He's very funny.
I love...
Remind me of his evil deeds and his cleverness and all of that, because...
Well, at first I just want to say I love that his hair is fire.
Yes, I love
Blue
that.
fire at that.
I love that.
That was pretty ingenious on Disney's part.
Yes.
I mean, that scene...
I love that.
That scene where Pegasus goes up to him and blows out his hair.
I love that.
That was priceless. I love
Yes.
that so much.
Yes.
You're like, whoa, is my hair out?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, okay, so Big Bad Hades. He tries to get Hercules killed as a baby, because he finds out from the three fates, those women that have the one eye, that share the one eye. He finds out from the three fates that Hercules, when he gets older, will ruin his plan and defeat him for his usurpation of the throne of Olympus. So he wants to dethrone his brother Zeus and rule over Olympus and pretty much the entire world. So he tries to kill Hercules as a baby.
That's evil.
That's evil. And then he releases the Titans, which were those huge monsters, and they are monsters of destruction. So
he releases chaos.
yeah, he releases chaos, and he uses the Titans to capture all of the gods on Olympus, and including Zeus, so he can rule. That is basically his evil deeds. He also ends up killing Meg.
Yeah, and before that, he had her as his slave.
Yeah, he did have Meg as a slave, just one of his agents. And I think he was like holding her soul on the line or something like that. So yeah, he had Meg as a slave, and then he ended up killing her or having her killed.
I think she
Well,
dies in an accident.
Yeah, but
He didn't mean to kill her because that ruined some kind of contract that they had
yeah,
signed.
that's right.
So it was an accident
But
that she died.
he still holds her soul. And then Hercules has to go. Oh. And then Hercules has to go get her and put her soul back in her body. So those were his evil deeds. In comparison to the rest of some of the rest of these on our list, I don't think he's all that evil. Hades, I don't know, he's just kind of, to me, he feels more like a whiny brother.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he feels more like a whiny brother.
Yes.
Um,
So I would rank him at number 4, which is the only number we don't have yet.
and he has the talent that he is a god of the underworld, the god of death, pretty much.
Yes.
So he has those kinds of powers and the power to hold the souls of the dead and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he can use that as blackmail, as he tries to do with Hercules with Meg's soul.
Exactly. So he's not that low.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
Let's do a 4 for now.
We'll do
see.
4 for now. Alright, last but not least, from 1999's Tarzan, Mr. Clayton. Yes, Clayton is the gun-toting, trigger-happy hunter.
Mm-hmm.
His motivation is to capture gorillas
For money.
For money. It doesn't matter if he kills them or not. He just wants to make money at the expense of these gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes behind the backs of Jane and her father by hiring a crew to help him with that, because to their knowledge, Jane and her father's, to their knowledge, they're just there to study the gorillas. They don't know anything about this whole plot that Clayton has to capture and make money off of these gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
So there is, in that, some of his cleverness there.
That's his evil plan.
His talent is that he's another hunter, similar to Gaston.
Mm-hmm.
Evil doings. He shoots Kerchak. Oh, he shoots Kerchak and kills him. And then of course his plot to make money off of gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the
The
only evil things that he really does.
He shot Tarzan as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he tried to kill Tarzan too, of course, but that's because Tarzan was, of course, being the hero and trying to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does that. So
he's very greedy.
yeah, very greedy.
He has an evil plan.
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't love gorillas, you know? So
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of like Cruella and the puppies, you know, animal lovers are going to be like, oh, that's so evil. That's number 1 evil, you know? But realistically speaking, comparing him
to the other
to
villains.
the others, what would you say?
Okay, he's similar. So you say that he's similar to Cruella de Vil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rank him higher or lower than Cruella?
That's that's a hard one because it's like puppies and gorillas.
I would say that he's smarter than Cruella.
Yes, because she's just cray cray.
Yeah. So I would think
he would be higher
Yeah.
because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the same thing. So he would be 9 and she would be 10.
Well, we do have another hunter on this list, which is Gaston. So how would you compare him to Gaston?
Honest. Like I said, he's an airhead, so, you know, excuse me, not very smart.
I would rank him higher than Gaston.
So
too.
I would say, yeah, I would say 8 then.
So Clayton would become 8, Gaston 9, and Cruella 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. All right.
So we agree on the last 3.
Yes. Agree on the last 3.
We agree on Wow.
Keep Clayton there.
We didn't end up with two lists.
No,
we
we
actually
didn't.
agreed.
All right, so going down the list, the final list is Scar at number 1 from The Lion King, Frollo at number 2 from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Ursula at number 3 from The Little Mermaid, Hades at number 4 from Hercules, 5 Shere Khan from Jungle Book, number 6 Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, number 7 the Stepmother from Cinderella, number 8 Clayton from Tarzan, number 9 Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and number 10 Cruella from 101 Dalmatians.
And we are in hot water with animal lovers.
Well, you are.
We are, because you agree with the list.
I have a love of animals.
I'm not saying I don't love them. I'm saying I put humans before animals.
I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe animals should over some humans. For example, would you say
yes?
Would you
yes, I agree with that.
Would you save a puppy over Hitler?
Of course.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I was agreeing with you with your last statement that you would put animals over some humans.
Yes, for sure.
So yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for, I guess, listening in on this video. I mean, of course, I'm going to have some visuals up there for you of all these characters, and maybe some footage if I can track some down of these movies. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Loquita Bonita, signing out.